Hey there, it's Amanda with the Pretty House team of Charles Ruttenberg Realty, obviously of Palm Harbor Coastal Living. So coming to you live for my monthly market update. This will be a market update for Dunedin, Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor, and Safety Harbor. I apologize that I am like a minute or two late. There were some helicopters circling, so I had to make sure all the doors were locked because I don't want to be raped and murdered in my own home. So that's what I was doing. What were you doing in the last few minutes? Hopefully you are just as excited as I was to get back to normal, where we have regular market updates and you can ask me any questions that you want and I can answer them for you. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in real estate in North Pinellas, but then I'm going to break it down for you into Dunedin, Tarpon Springs, Safety Harbor, and Palm Harbor. Why is this different than things you might see that just say like monthly market updates, Pinellas County? Because here's why. So the Pinellas Realtor Organization puts out statistics every single month that cover the entire county, but they don't fine tune it. They don't break it down by your neighborhood. And so that's why this market update is different and quite honestly more valuable to you than say a market update that you see from another team or lender or whoever that says Pinellas County market update, because there's a lot of areas that Pinellas County and North Pinellas is certainly very different than South Pinellas, the south part of St. Pete, Largo, Clearwater. They're all different and the values are all drastically different. So is the average days on market, so is the average under contract, so is the average sold. So that is why I take a little extra time to every single month to break down each area of North Pinellas for us, because our market values and our real estate market is different than the rest of the county. And that's true anywhere across the country. But just wanted you to share that information with you, because if I'm sharing information with you and then later on in the day or tomorrow you're scrolling and you see Pinellas market update and the numbers that I'm sharing with you are somehow different than the numbers somebody else might be sharing with you, it's because they're just using the generic report that the Pinellas Realtor Organization puts out that covers the entire county. And I don't do that because I sell North Pinellas County real estate. So that's what's important to myself, my clients, my neighbors, my friends. Okay, so what's going on in real estate? It is still a seller's market, still very much a seller's market. However, we are seeing an uptick in average days on market, which means that listings are sitting for longer than they were, say, 6 months ago, a year ago, even 18 months ago. So I'll talk to you first about Dunedin. So in Dunedin right now, and when I go in and I pull Dunedin, I literally pull these zip codes for Dunedin. So when you hear these numbers, you're gonna be like, well, that's not a lot. Well, it's because it is truly Dunedin. Now, sometimes a buyer will say they want to live in Dunedin, but when they see the prices of Dunedin, they end up buying in Clearwater because the lines are drawn kind of funky. And just because you live in Clearwater doesn't mean you live in the heart of Clearwater. You could live like right there, Dunedin Clearwater line. So statistics for Dunedin for September of 2021, there were currently 31 active listings in the month of September, 19 under contracts, and 47 sales. Okay, so I mean, numbers are hard to paint a picture, but 31 active listings is not a lot. And 19 under contracts shows you that that's well over half. So that shows you that we're still in a seller's market. Also, the fact that 47 listings sold in the month of September and only 31 were on the market also shows you still a seller's market. So that being said, the average days on market in Dunedin is 33. That is, for right now, a really long time. 2 years ago, the average was like 45, 50, 31, depending on your agent and how well they educate you before you come to market. But we were looking at 10, 12, 14, 17 days in the last like 18 months. So to say to you that the average days on market for an active listing right now is 33 is a really long time. Now, listen to this though. The average under contract and sold is only 23 days. So what does that tell you? So if a property is under contract or sold in a shorter amount of time than the average that active listings are currently sitting on the market, it means that there is a slight change happening. So what do I see happening? Personal opinion, sellers are not shifting fast enough. There are fewer listings coming to market, so the averages can sway drastically by just one seller who holds out for a number he could have gotten a year and a half ago, but he can't get now. That can sway your average days on market days on market drastically. And when we look at Safety Harbor, you'll see exactly what I mean. So next, we're going to talk about Palm Harbor. So again, I pull all zip codes for Palm Harbor, which means East Lake area is included in these statistics. And since Palm Harbor isn't an incorporated area, it goes Ozona, all of that. So everything you consider Palm Harbor is in these statistics. So for the month of September, there were 61 active properties. Now compare that to Dunedin at 31, okay? 61 active properties were on the market, single family homes in Palm Harbor in September. And there were only 19 under contract in September. Now, why? A lot of times, and you'll see based on the sold information I'm about to share with you, a lot of times you'll see in Palm Harbor that people want to close on a house before school starts. So it's not abnormal to see a little bit of a dip in September because a lot of the people that live in Palm Harbor buy in Palm Harbor because they want the schools. So when you look at the solds for September, we were at 102. Okay, so let me walk through that one more time. Palm Harbor has 61 single family homes on the market in September. There were 19 under contract properties in Palm Harbor, single family in September, but there were 102 closings. That means that people were trying to wrap up from their summer buys to get in for schools and holidays. So that's why you see such a huge number of closings in September in Palm Harbor. Average days on the market, not that much different than Dunedin, 36. Average under contract and sold days on market was 21. Again, keep in mind that when you see pending houses and sold houses selling faster than the average days on market for active listings, that shows a slight change. It doesn't show a drop. It doesn't show a bubble bursting. It just shows that some sellers are holding out and buyers are getting out of the ring. Okay, does that make sense a little bit? If you have any questions, throw your hand up. If I'm going too fast with the numbers, throw your hand up. I can also share these in some clips later because I already created little, post graphics to share with you later. Okay, let's talk about Tarpon Springs because Tarpon Springs is a lesson we can all learn from. So in September, there were 55 listings for single family homes in Tarpon Springs. More than any other community in North Pinellas per capita was in Tarpon Springs. 55 single family homes were sitting on the market in September. There were only 20 single family homes under contract in September in Tarpon Springs. And they had, ironically, 55 sales that closed in September. So the same number of listings is the same number of sales in September. Average days on market for Safety Harbor was 87 days. That's bananas. That is a really, really, really long time for a house to be on the market right now. So if you were looking to buy a house, I'm not saying there's steals and deals in Tarpon Springs, but I'm saying that market appears to be an area where sellers are sitting for longer. So if you've lost out on homes in the past, it might not be a bad idea to look at Tarpon Springs and see what's been on the market for a minute because maybe they're ready to negotiate. When sellers dig their heels in and hold firm on their pricing, you will see longer average days on market. So for example, Dunedin was 33 days on market for average listings. Palm Harbor was 36 days on market for average listings, for average days on market. Tarpon Springs, 87. So that is just something that I found interesting. I don't know if, they're being educated differently. I don't know why sellers are holding in some areas and getting more realistic in others. But it's definitely something to watch. So if you are buying in Tarpon Springs or considering listing your house and selling in Tarpon Springs, you need to be very careful with who you hire and who you're using to represent you because they need to have a finger on the pulse. You don't want to be one of those properties that's sitting on the market for 87 days. That's just bananas a year and a half ago, but it's even more bananas now. By the way, what do you guys think about me going as a banana for Halloween because the market's bananas? Cute or too cheesy? I don't know. Just batting it around. Anyway, let's talk about Safety Harbor, okay? So Safety Harbor is, again, a tricky area because it is really finite in the zip code search for Safety Harbor. Again, you could go just outside of Safety Harbor and be in Clearwater. So when I tell you Safety Harbor statistics, it's literally those properties that are within the zip code search for Safety Harbor. So in September, there were 15 properties on the market in Safety Harbor, single family homes. And oh, by the way, I don't do like a price range when I do these. It is every single family home. So in Safety Harbor proper, there were 15 properties on the market in September. That's it, 15 total, all complete. And there were 6 under contract. 6. Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 20 had sold that month, in the month of September. Okay, so here's something interesting though. Hold on, I need to read my note. Ah, yes, I remember my note now. So the average days on market for active listings in Safety Harbor, you would think would be crazy low because there's only 15 of them. However, it's 38. And the reason that it's 38 is because a few of the 15-day listings, a few of the 15 listings had been on the market for a really long time. So when you're doing averages, and I'll talk to you a little bit by showing you the pendings. So the pendings in Safety Harbor, there were only 6 of those. And those properties' average days on market was over 65. But slow your roll, don't get excited. Safety Harbor's not falling out. The reason their average days on market was so high for the pending listings is because one of them was on the market for almost a year. So when you only have 6 under contract properties and one of them is on the market for a year, obviously that's going to affect your average. The median was like 18 days. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking at averages. Let's talk about average sales prices. So in Dunedin, the average sales price right now is almost $600,000. It's $591,000. In Palm Harbor, it's $510,000. In Tarpon Springs, it's $455,000. And in Safety Harbor, it's $495,000. So everybody is somewhere between like the $450,000 and $600,000 as an average sales price. But let's talk about what's going on in the market. So this is what I'm seeing from buyers. I'm seeing buyers that are tired. I would assimilate it to this. Let's say you wanted to take up boxing. You thought that would be fun. So you went to take a boxing class. And when you got there, they said, we've had a little change of plans. We know that you bought the shoes and the gloves and you look great and you're wearing the right boxing outfit and you're totally ready to get in the ring and learn. But our coach canceled. And so you're just going to kind of do like a mock boxing session with Mike Tyson. Just get on in there. You'll be fine. And then you got in the ring with Mike Tyson as a buyer and the seller with Mike Tyson in this scenario. And you got the crap beat out of you for the last year and a half. So that's what's really been going on with buyers who've been in the market for the last year and a half is they've been getting the poop beat out of them. Time and time and time again. And they got tired. And many of them just decided to sign leases again because everybody saw that rents were going up. And so it was like, which one, the devil you know or the devil that you don't know? So that is a little bit about what's going on in the market. Again, I don't see dramatic drops happening. I don't see a fallout happening. I know a lot of people are banking on the market crashing. I think there'll be a plateau. I think there'll be a slowdown. Fourth quarter is historically slow anyway because a lot of people don't want to move between Thanksgiving and New Year. So if you're asking me, should I come to market soon? My answer would be, if you're serious, yeah. Because buyers are looking now because they have to buy, not because they want to buy. Because if sellers don't want to sell between holidays, buyers surely don't want to move between holidays. I know I don't want to explain to my son how Santa's going to know where the new house is. But if you want to capitalize on low inventory and serious buyers, then yes, fourth quarter is a good time to come to market. Otherwise, spring. Everybody does it in spring. You get a ton of new houses in the market on spring, but you also get a ton of buyers in the market on spring. So it's a lot more competition. So that would be my advice to you if you've been trying to time the market, if you're trying to figure out what's going on. Also, meet with your agent well in advance of thinking you're ready to list the house because you want to figure out where you're going first. And the worst thing you can do in this market is think you can sell for some astronomical price, get that price, and then realize you can't buy what you wanted. That's a really terrible feeling. I'm not saying that every agent would let that happen, but I have seen a lot of people who are renting because they weren't explained how the market was going to work. And they stuck a sign in their yard and they got the offer that they wanted and they took it and they thought it would be fine and it's not fine. And now they're paying 2 or 3 times what they would be paying in a mortgage because they sold the house out from underneath themselves. So just be smart about it. I have a ton of sellers who are selling right now who found what they were going to go to before that and they are happy as a clam. Are clams happy? I mean, they seem like they're smiling when they're closed. Anyway, doesn't matter. So those are our statistics for the month of September. I hope that you enjoyed them. I always get nervous when I do these lives, especially when there's no questions. It always makes me feel like nobody can hear me. going to go with a yes because nobody's saying anything. So anyway, I hope you guys make it a great day. If you know anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please think of me. I will treat them like family. Well, I'll treat them better than family because let's be honest, my family doesn't always get my best. I hope you guys make it a great day. And all of the details and all the statistics will be posted as well throughout the month on the page. So have a good one, guys. Bye.